everybody, Susan LaCroix, demonstrator with Stampin' Up! I am starting a new little series of videos for basically new stampers. I had a new customer who had never stamped before, so I called her a stamping virgin and everybody laughed. And then at the end of the class she stood up and said, "Woohoo! I'm not a stamping virgin anymore!" So we all got a chuckle out of that. But that got me to thinking that those folks who have never stamped before, don't know what to do or how to get started, that maybe it would be helpful if they had some quick little videos that they could watch. And so I thought we would just start with today with the very, very basics. So I'm going to start with the different kinds of stamps that Stampin' Up! Offers. We started off with a red rubber stamp on a wood block, ergonomically designed so they're very comfortable to use. The stamps are very deeply etched. They're made in the United States in Kanab, Utah. All of our stamps are. So a few years ago we came out with, again, red rubber stamps, but available in what we call clear mount, so that you can mount them on an acrylic block. So this is a cute little party panda from our upcoming celebration starting in January. So these just fit very easily on the block, and so you just give it a little pressure to kind of hold it in place. And so you can, it's certainly personal preference. I've always been a wood block kind of girl, but I'm coming around to the clear mount for several reasons. They are in a smaller case because the blocks are stored separately, so I can buy more stamps because I have more room on my shelves. Like I need an excuse anyway, but okay. So the other thing we came out with a year or so ago are our photopolymers, that they're clear, they're see-through, and so you can do a process called two-step, and I'll show you that today as well. So those also go on our acrylic block, so you only need to buy like one set of blocks and then just store your stamps in their cases on your shelf. All right, so the other thing that you need to get started, there's a very simple formula. It's called SIP, S-I-P. So you need stamps, you need some ink, and you need some paper. So stamps, ink, paper, SIP. All right. And then the other thing I'm going to talk to you about real quick before we stamp is keeping your stamps clean. So we sell something called Stampin Scrub, and we sell some Stampin Mist, and you can get a refill bottle for this as well. And it's important that you keep your stamps clean in between uses. If you're switching colors or if you're done stamping for the day and you want to put things away, make sure your stamps are all cleaned. So this it's got two scrubbing surfaces, and there's little icons in the corners. This one is the raindrop, so that's our wet side, and the sunshine is our dry side. And so you just need a little bit. You can spray this on your wet side and then just very gently rub your stamp on the wet side and then again on the dry side. And again, it not only cleans, but it conditions your stamps and keeps them from getting too dry. So we'll put this aside because we will be needing to clean our stamps a little bit later, and we're going to go ahead and get started. So we need our paper, and we have our stamp, and we have our ink. So our basic black and our basic gray are called archival inks, and they have kind of a linen surface on them. The rest of our colors have what's called a foam pad. So you don't need to like really push hard on this. What I tell my customers is that they can just kind of tap and get ink on their stamp, and if they flip it over and they can see that it's all shiny and that there's ink on every part of the image, then they're good to go. Now I got a little area here that I want to add a little more ink to. So there we go. Okay, good. And then I usually have, especially new customers, or if it's a more detailed image, to have them practice on their grid paper. But basically what you want to do is you want to put your stamp straight down on your paper, and I let it sit there for a couple seconds so that the ink will kind of wick into the paper, and I just maybe give a little bit of pressure. Again, you don't want to push too hard because you don't want ink where you don't want it. And then again, just lift straight up, and then you'll have a nice crisp stamped image. So let me show you the card that I used this on. Again, the stamps, ink, and paper. This time I just added a little bit of designer series paper and a little bit of our olive ribbon just to make a real sweet card. And we sell these note cards and envelopes separately, so you don't even have to worry about having to buy extra paper and cutting and all that stuff if you buy a set of the note cards and envelopes. There you go. So there's that card. The next image we're going to use the red rubber on a clear mount, again, just to show you how you can kind of see your image through on the paper. So again, I'm going to use my archival black ink and put some ink on our little panda guy. Cute. And again, just straight down. Hold it there for a minute, a little bit of pressure, straight up, and we have our cute little panda. And for him, I stamped him on a little 3x3 card with a little happy birthday. So you could use this as a enclosure with a little birthday gift. And I just took a little marker and just put some red and blue dots in his party hat. So real sweet. We sell the 3x3 envelopes that these go in. Okay, so the next thing that I'm going to show you is the fact that you can stamp on designer series paper. And this is from our Color Theory suite. And I'm going to use the leaves from the Colorful Seasons. This is a very versatile stamp set because it's really good year-round. Okay, so I'm going to use some old olive ink, and again, this is on the firm foam. And I like that our ink pads store upside down. Okay, so remember when I talked about the differences of the stamps? Let me show you this very quickly. On all of our red rubber stamps, whether it's on wood or if it's on an acrylic block, there's a little piece of foam that's between the stamp itself and your block. And this gives you some give so that you can stamp a nice crisp image. On the photopolymers, because you can see through them, obviously, there's no foam. So between the stamp itself and the block, you can see right through it. So you need to provide the foam yourself. So we sell these piercing mats, and we have paper piercers, and that's a video for another day. But I bought an extra one, and I put a little S on it for stamps. So this is for stamping with my photopolymer stamp sets. You don't want to use a mat that you've been poking holes in paper, because then that could transmit to your paper. So I'm just going to slide this under my grid paper a little bit. Let me move these a little bit here. Move this here. Okay. So I have my foam under there, and that's going to provide me that give. So on the two-step, you can either use two different colors, or you can use the same color, but you need one of your images a lighter shade. So I'm using the solid leaf, and I'm going to ink it up. Again, just tapping lightly and getting the ink on there. And I'm going to do what's called stamping off. So I'm just going to stamp it on my grid paper, and then I'm going to stamp it on my designer series paper. Okay, straight down, straight up, and there's my leaf. Now I'm going to take my detailed stamp and attempt on video to line it up and stamp. So here we go. I'm going to go right down there and try to line it up and lift it up. Well, not too bad. So if you can see the detailed stamp over the solid image. And I like this crackled look because it kind of adds to the leaf itself. So what I did for this image is I took a piece of our old olive cardstock and took my stamped image. I stamped Life is a Beautiful Thing in black ink. And I took a piece of black cardstock just to mat it and make it pop off the olive cardstock. Again, stamps, ink, and paper. That's pretty much all you need to get started stamping. All the rest will come in time. So that's the basics. I want to thank you for watching today, and I look forward to doing some more of these basics. Oh, I just got a smudge of ink. Darn. Okay, anyway. I look forward to stamping with you in the future and giving you some more little tips and techniques. Have a great day and happy stamping.